You've seen them online. Those long little bodies, those floppy ears, those ridiculously soulful eyes staring up at you like you're the only person in the universe. And you've thought, yes, that's my dog. But before you rush to a breeder or scroll through adoption listings at midnight, you need to hear this. Dachshunds are not for everyone. In fact, for a lot of people, and we mean a lot, a dachshund is genuinely too much dog to handle. Not because they're dangerous, not because they're unlovable, but because nobody warned them about what life with a dachshund actually looks like on a random Tuesday morning when your dog has decided that the world is ending because you moved his blanket 2 inches to the left. This video is that warning. We're going to walk you through 8 real, honest, no-fluff reasons why a dachshund might not be the right fit for your life right now. This isn't about scaring you off. It's about setting you up for success. Because the worst thing that can happen to a dachshund is ending up in a home that wasn't ready for them. If you're still on board by the end of this video, you'll know you're ready. And if something here gives you pause, that's exactly the kind of clarity you needed. Let's get into it. Reason 1. They were bred to be stubborn. On purpose. Here's something most people don't realize. Dachshunds were originally bred in Germany to hunt badgers. Not just to find badgers, to go into the burrow alone and fight them, underground, without any backup. Think about what kind of personality that requires. You need a dog that won't back down, won't take orders in the heat of the moment, and will make independent decisions when their life depends on it. That's a dachshund. That independent streak didn't disappear when they became family pets. It just redirected, straight at you. When you tell a dachshund to sit, they'll look at you. Then they'll look away. Then they'll decide, on their own timeline, whether sitting sounds like something they want to do today. If you've only ever owned highly biddable breeds like Labradors or Golden Retrievers, the dachshund's attitude will genuinely shock you. Training takes patience, repetition, and a sense of humor. If you expect quick obedience or easy commands, you're in for a frustrating surprise. Reason 2. The barking is not a phase. Let's talk about the bark. Dachshunds have a bark that is wildly disproportionate to their size. It's deep, loud, and here's the part nobody mentions. It is constant. A dachshund will bark at the mailman, at the neighbor's cat, at the shadow of the neighbor's cat, at the wind, at a sound they heard 3 rooms away that you cannot identify and never will. This is a breed that was literally designed to signal its location underground by barking. That instinct is ancient and deeply wired. It's not something you can train away entirely, no matter how consistent you are. If you live in an apartment, this matters enormously. If you have close neighbors, this matters. If you work from home and need quiet focus hours, this really matters. It's one of the top reasons dachshunds end up in shelters. Owners who genuinely loved the dog but couldn't manage the noise levels in their living situation. Reason 3. Their backs are a ticking clock. And this one is serious, and it doesn't get talked about enough. Dachshunds have one of the highest rates of intervertebral disc disease, IVDD, of any breed in the world. Up to 25% of dachshunds will experience some form of spinal disc problem in their lifetime. Some will lose the ability to walk. Some will require emergency surgery that can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 or more. Their long spine and short legs create structural pressure that makes disc herniation a very real and ongoing risk. This means you can't let them jump off furniture carelessly. You need ramps or steps near the couch and bed. You need to think carefully before letting children roughhouse with them. You need to watch for signs of back pain, reluctance to move, crying when picked up, sudden changes in gait, and act fast. If you're not financially prepared for a potential emergency surgery, or if you're not willing to manage your dog's physical environment with that level of care, a dachshund's health needs could genuinely overwhelm you. This isn't a maybe. It's a breed reality you sign up for on day 1. Reason 4. They are Velcro dogs, whether you want that or not. Dachshunds are not independent dogs. They are not the type to curl up in a corner and entertain themselves while you go about your day. They will follow you everywhere. the kitchen, the bathroom, the 2 feet between the couch and the coffee table. They want to be on you, next to you, or at minimum staring directly at you at all times. This is adorable for about the first week. After that, if you're someone who values personal space, quiet time, or the ability to work without a 10-pound dog anchoring themselves to your lap, the clinginess becomes a real issue. Worse, if you leave them alone for long stretches of time, they tend to develop separation anxiety. This shows up as destructive behavior, excessive barking, and accidents in the house, even from a dog that's been house-trained for years. If your lifestyle involves long work hours away from home, frequent travel, or just a personality that needs a lot of personal space, the emotional neediness of a dachshund might genuinely wear you down. Reason 5. House training. Them is a long game. Ask any experienced dachshund owner about house training, and you'll see a very specific expression cross their face. It's a mix of exhaustion, acceptance, and mild trauma. Dachshunds are notoriously difficult to house train. Not impossible, but slow. The same stubbornness that makes them independent hunters makes them resistant to the idea that you get to decide where they relieve themselves. And here's the thing that trips people up. Dachshunds will often regress. A dog that's been house-trained for 2 years will suddenly start having accidents again if something in the routine changes. A new schedule, a new person in the house, cold weather they don't feel like going out in. That last one is real. Dachshunds hate cold and wet weather. If it's raining outside, many dachshunds will simply refuse to go out and will handle the situation indoors without a single ounce of regret. If you're a first-time dog owner expecting to have house training wrapped up in a few weeks, this breed will humble you quickly. Reason 6. They have strong prey drive and zero spatial awareness of their size. Remember the badger hunting thing? That instinct doesn't clock out. Dachshunds have a strong prey drive. Squirrels, rabbits, birds, small cats, anything that moves quickly has the potential to trigger a full sprint with zero warning. On a leash, this can mean a sudden lunge that pulls you off balance. Off a leash in an unfenced yard, it can mean a dog that is simply gone, chasing something you can't see, into a road, into the neighbor's yard, across a field. They also have a deeply misguided sense of their own toughness. A dachshund will bark at, charge at, and attempt to start something with dogs 3, 4, 5 times their size. They genuinely don't process that they could lose that fight badly. This means you need to be alert on every walk. Or maintain a secure and fully fenced yard and be prepared to manage a dog whose instincts consistently override their better judgment. Reason 7. They're diggers and escape artists. A dog bred to tunnel underground is, predictably, a dog that likes to dig. Your garden, your yard, under your fence, through your couch cushions, into the laundry basket. The target doesn't matter much. The process is what they love. And that digging instinct is how many dachshunds escape fenced yards. They don't jump fences, they go under them. If your fence doesn't extend below ground, a motivated dachshund will find that out before you do. If you're a gardener or take a lot of pride in your outdoor space, you'll need to either dedicate a specific digging area for your dachshund or accept that your landscaping is now a negotiation. Reason 8. They live a long time. And that's more commitment than you think. This last one often gets framed as a positive, and it is, but it's also something people underestimate. Dachshunds routinely live 12 to 16 years. Some make it to 17 or even older. That is a long time. It means the dog you bring home as a puppy will still be with you when your kids finish school, when you change careers, when you move cities, when your whole life looks different than it does right now. Senior dachshunds come with their own set of needs, potential mobility issues, more frequent vet visits, joint supplements, softer food, less exercise tolerance, more accidents in the house. The last few years of a dachshund's life can be genuinely demanding, emotionally and financially. If you're at a point in life where the next 12 to 16 years feel uncertain, lots of potential moves, changing living situations, unsettled finances, The lifetime commitment of a Dachshund deserves very honest thought before you decide. Now, if you made it through all 8 of those and you're still sitting there thinking I still want one, then honestly, you might be exactly the right person for a Dachshund. Because here's the other side of everything we just told you. The stubbornness becomes personality. The barking becomes funny, eventually. The clinginess becomes a bond that is genuinely unlike anything you'll find in another breed. Dachshunds are fiercely loyal, wildly entertaining, and they will love you in a way that feels almost embarrassingly personal. They're not easy. But the people who are right for them will tell you they wouldn't trade them for anything. Do your research. Talk to current Dachshund owners. If you can, spend time with the breed before you commit. And if you decide to move forward, go in with your eyes open, your fence secured, and your back ramps already installed. If this video helped you think it through, drop a comment below telling us, are you in or are you out? We'd love to hear where you landed. And if you want to keep learning about breeds before you commit, subscribe and check out our next video. We're breaking down another popular breed and asking the same honest question. Is this dog actually right for you? We'll see you there.